The noob! The noob! Hey, dried hands, what's up? It's the culture detective here, freezing my ass off because for some reason yesterday the temperature of Hong Kong fell to 17 degrees Celsius and it's super dry, so I have to apply hand cream now, otherwise I'm going to shrivel and die. What's up, is a culture detective here investigating your favorite albums, and today I'm going to do my second review of the day, and that would be the latest Converge and Chelsea Wolfe album, Bloodmoon 1. Massachusetts, okay, what are you doing? Massachusetts metalcore band Converge, who has released legendary classics like Jane Doe, as well as goth folk singer-songwriter Chelsea Wolfe, has come together for a collaboration project with Bloodmoon 1. Now, I have a lot of stuff to do today, and I've already reviewed one album, so I'm not gonna talk too much in this review instead, but basically they're coming together for an atmospheric, gothy, sludgy, scary, creepy metal album, and it's very cool because both of these artists, you know, this band Converge and Chelsea Wolfe are both very, very talented musical acts, and together they do make some pretty damn good music. But of course, I don't think that this album is perfect by any means. It's still a little bit flawed. Bloodmoon, the album opener, is an 8-minute long slumbering track with very menacing riffs, atmospheric vocal duets between Chelsea Wolfe and the frontman of Converge, and the whole track is just very creepy, very sinister, and such a horror show, and I really like it. I also like how gargantuan it is. I mean, it's eight minutes long, and the way it opens off, it just welcomes its listeners into this creepy world of Bloodmoon, I guess. Viscera of Men features these growls and singing sort of happening at the same time, which creates some interesting textures. It has a bed of distorted guitars that are very super gothy, and I kind of like the quiet, moody middle part of the track. And then we have the track Coil, which is personally my favorite track on the entire album. I love how it starts off with these very cold-blooded, prickly guitars, as well as these hushes and whispers sort of lays throughout the entire track, and it sort of builds into a very epic melodic chorus, which is really nice. Dramatic guitars ending off the track with reverby vocals. The whole track is just like a religious experience. Then the album dives into a bit of a low point with Flower Moon, where we get these slow, twangy guitars and singing on Converge's part, and we all know that Chelsea Wolfe singing is better on this album, so not really all that great. Chelsea Wolfe takes a bit of a backseat on this track. Next up, we have Tongues Playing Dead, which is a really raw and fiery track with climbing, speedy guitars and sharp growls. And the first half sounds like a by the numbers track. I mean, yeah, atmospheric sludge metal with gothic vibes is really cool, but it still feels a little by the numbers in and of itself. But the second half does sort of pop off with these really cool monster singing vocals, like because of how the vocals are layered, it's so rough and stiff and odd. It sounds like a monster singing, and it's just really cool. What are you doing? What are you doing? Next up, we have Lord of Liars, and this track starts off like a punk rock song, except very gothy, goth punk, with some very dramatic vocals provided by Chelsea Wolfe. And then we get these raging detuned guitars, and finally these very sharp and random shots of growl vocals, which is just really cool. Another highlight on the album, definitely. And that is followed by Failure Forever, which is a very dramatic and moody track. The chords on this track feel the drabbest and the driest throughout the entire album, and at a few points in this track, it kind of reminds me of like Deftones, maybe, just a little bit. The track Scorpion Sting has these really reverby, bluesy guitars that sounds like it came out of a David Lynch movie, and the track pretty much remains the same pace throughout, doesn't really have a lot of dynamic. And then we have the track Daimon, which is a disorientingly hellish track with threatening lyrics about how your children will pay for your sins, and these lyrics are pretty much present throughout the entire album. Nothing all that shocking or surprising. It's pretty much what you would expect. Crimson Stone starts off really slow, but of course we have a very cinematic build-up with banging drums to a very satisfying climax, sharp guitars, rough vocal layers. It's really cool. And finally, the album ends off on Blood Dawn, which is, in my opinion, is just kind of an okay ending. It has these very gothy cinematic vocals, which I really love, and these lonesome guitars. But then again, I feel like it's just kind of by the numbers at this point. So, Converge and Chelsea Wolfe comes together for a really good album. I think the gothy sludge metal of this album has a really nice vibe to it, but still, I don't think there's anything in this album that's really popping out to me just yet. So I wouldn't say it's great, but I'd say it's still very promising, and I'm looking forward to Bloodmoon 2. I'm giving Bloodmoon 1 a strong 7 out of 10. So, have you listened to this album from 1 to 10? Would you rate it, like, and subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching. Gotta go. Woo!